Today we're taking a look at the Ronin from Star Wars Visions. Let's get at it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Collector's Outpost. I am John. Well, today's kind of cool because we're taking a look at a very different looking lightsaber. This is kind of based off of the old samurai ninja katana type swords, which for me is really cool because I actually used to collect a ton of older swords and katanas. This is actually the last one I have left. I totally forget the name of this one. It was like Ninja 3000 or something like that. But I originally bought this one and only kept this one. I pretty much sold everything else out because this reminded me of a lightsaber hilt. But this was actually one of my favorites out of the collection that I had. So in Star Wars Visions, we have Ronin, and he is kind of this different character in a sense, which I thought originally was going to be a Jedi, but then he pulls out a red saber.
Your lightsaber blade is red!
And is kind of a Sith. Digging into him a little bit more, you find out that he used to be a Sith Lord and everything that kind of left that and tried to, I guess, get rid of the Sith over the years. So let's pull up Wikipedia and I'll read you a little bit about the Ronin. So as many of you know, in Star Wars Visions Season 1 and Episode 1, we get this character, the Ronin. And according to Wikipedia here, the Ronin was an alias used by a male human former Sith who wandered the far edge of the Outer Rim territory in the aftermath of the Sith Rebellion. He would later be nicknamed as Grim. The Ronin had begun the rebellion as the Dark Lord of the Sith, and led Sith armies into battle after they broke away from the Jedi clans, seeking to control their own destinies and the end of the cycle of never-ending wars between rival feudal lords and their Jedi Knights. The lords formed an alliance as they sent their Jedi to battle the Dark Lord, his witch, their forces, and the Sith demons that the witch resurrected after their deaths. However, the Dark Lord grew disenchanted with what the Sith became during the rebellion and turned on his followers, ending the rebellion. The Dark Lord renounced the Sith, shed his former identity, and became the Ronin. After the rebellion failed, the former rival lords led a revitalized empire that ruled much of the galaxy. So there's a lot of information about the story of Ronin, and I do wish that Disney would kind of take some of these characters and make them into maybe short series, like 4 or 5 episodes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes each, to kind of give us more of these stories that sound really cool. And there seems to be other great characters such as Ronin that we can get so many stories from and backstories that sound so interesting. So anyway, we've got Ronin's saber right here sent over from CCSabers. Thank you so much for sending this over for everybody to check out. I'll put a direct link and discount code for everybody down in the description so you guys can check out everything over at CCSabers and get 5% off your order over there. So before we unbox this, if you are new here, please drop down, hit that like, subscribe, and notification button, and thank you so much for stopping by. And if you're a return viewer, thanks for hanging out. So let's get to this unboxing. Now, being a sword collector over the years, this one actually kind of hits home really well because this is kind of like some of my old katanas with this really high quality kind of knitting stitch pattern here on the grip. And I'm really, really digging that look. And then we've got, you know, the handguard over here. And it really has that ninja katana, old samurai feel to it. I was into martial arts and everything when I was younger, and this really kind of does it for me. This really hits home. I absolutely love everything about this saber. All right, so let's check out everything else it comes with. We have our fancy white gloves, which honestly, for something like this, which is all material around the handle and aluminum, brushed aluminum, you don't really need white gloves, but it's cool that, you know, you have these for any other chrome-plated sabers that you might have. Then we have our USB-C with Allen wrench and looks like a couple extra retention screws in there. And of course we have our blade plug. This is a Profi, so we do have a full manual to run your Profi, and they give you this nice acrylic display stand. And then you pop that display together and we have a beautiful, beautiful display right there. Absolutely love this. And of course we do have a 36-inch pixel blade. All right, so down over here is where the chassis is sitting. And then you just have to reach your fingers in here. It has a little grip thing, and you can pop your chassis right out. So right over here, you'll see you have your USB-C charging port, your 18650 battery, and your Profi connector, or it would be whatever other board you have here, and you can actually kind of see the SD card kind of tucked away under there. Now over here, you'll see that the connection on top there is one of those steps. There's a top and a bottom here of the circuits. So when you're putting this in, make sure that you line this up in the correct direction. Don't twist, don't jam or anything, because you will break these connectors and the pins inside. So when you're slipping this in, it should go in as easy as possible. You can line up the Profi with the activation switch right here, slip it in, and as long as it's lined up, it should just pop right on in. Boom, just like that. Don't force it, don't twist it. If you don't feel it just pop right in, then take it out and make sure that it's facing the right way. Now on the top here, on the emitter here, we actually have 4 spots for retention screws. I popped one in, but I do recommend at least 2 so it pushes the blade up against the side here. I did pop in 1 just so we can get this going. The only one thing that does bother me is that there's 2 sets of D-rings, well, not D-rings, but they're like square rings kind of, or rectangular rings, whatever you want to call it, but they flop all over the place. I do wish that these were a lot tighter, because that's gonna drive me nuts. So this is loaded up with sound fonts for you. Now over here, you're gonna have to keep your hand underneath the buttons over here. We have our 2 buttons set up. Top is power, bottom is our auxiliary, but you're not gonna be able to hold it over here like I typically do. You do have to hold it under here or you're gonna constantly hit these buttons. So that being said, we have twist on, flash on clash, we have our blasters, lock up, we have our beautiful smooth swing. So guys, I'm just gonna say this right now, you're in the way. You're in the way, both of you. It is very hard to do any of this with you here. It's bad enough I have the fan, but I also have to worry about hitting both of you in the head. All right, so let's take a look at some of the fonts. Beautiful. And one of my all-time favorites, it really makes no sense as a font, but I love Stargate. You hear the chevrons locking. Are any of you Stargate fans by any chance? Because it's one of my favorite shows, and I'm really looking forward to another version of Stargate to come out. This one's super cool. Love that sound. Now it's super simple to swap out the colors. You're just gonna hold the auxiliary and click on the power and just give a twist. And when you fall on something that you like, you could just do the same thing. Auxiliary, power. Now adjusting the volume super easy. You're just going to push and hold the auxiliary for about a second. Then you'll hear that beep and you're in volume mode. So you're gonna go up or down on the button. So we're already at the top. So you'll hear the volume go down. Or you can go back up. And when you find the volume setting you want, you just, same thing, hold that for about a second. All right, my friends, that is the RONIN Lightsaber from CCSabers. Thank you so much for sending this over for everybody to check out. Again, I'll put a direct link and a discount code for everybody down in the description below so you can save 5% over at CCSabers. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the RONIN Lightsaber, and while you're down there, hit that like, subscribe, and notification button for upcoming videos, and I will see you all on the next video. Be safe and kind out there in the world. See ya.